where we're using something called a StreamYard, and my first ever Ivy for StreamYard is actually with one of my old teachers, but also the principal of Spotswood College, Nicola Ngarewa. Kia ora, Nicola. How are you going?
Kia ora. I'm great, thank you. I'm great under the circumstances. What about yourself?
Oh, you know what? We've just kind of come together as a station and we're trying to work things out, and I think we're sort of on a roll. We're sort of getting there, but today, you know, Thursday, the second day of lockdown, you know, we were pretty much straight into a level 4 lockdown pretty quick smart on Tuesday evening, 11:59 p.m. It was a pretty fast turnaround for schools all around Taranaki who needed to act fast once we heard that we were heading into this lockdown. How did that look for you guys? Because it was like 6:20 p.m. when we found out that we were going to go into a lockdown. Like, you guys thought you'd have school the next day.
Yeah, actually, I was sort of going around when I was reading through the stuff at about 3:30, saying to my staff as a bit of a joke, like, I think we're going to go into lockdown. I'll take this stuff home with you. And so they were all blaming me that I jinxed it. So we did leave there, to be honest, at the end of the day, like we would any other day. We left our stuff there thinking we'd be back in. So it was a real quick turnaround. But what I can say for us at Te Kora o Ngā Motu at Spotswood College is that we've been here before. And we kind of know what it looks like. So we're able to respond a lot quicker and a lot better than what we probably have first time round for us in Taranaki. The only thing probably that was a little bit, if I'd known slightly earlier, is that we had some staff that obviously left without their laptops, and our kids, our young people, amazing young people that left without the gear that they would normally use for through the day. And so that's meant that because we can't go back on site under the instructions of the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health at the moment, that not everyone has everything that they need in front of them to carry on like they would normally for distance online learning. But hei aha, it's, I guess, it's a small problem to have in the bigger context of things, and it is what it is.
Yeah, that's right. And, I suppose we all kind of adapting to what we can during these unprecedented times. They do say it will be a 3-day lockdown for us here in Taranaki and, well, the rest of Aotearoa, I suppose. What does that mean if we are to go longer than 3 days for you guys?
Yeah. Yep, cool. So, I mean, we're really fortunate that we are a future-focused school, so pretty much everything we do is online anyway. So this is kind of a little bit like business as usual for us. The only real significant thing, which is always at the forefront of how we operate anyway, is the wellness of our staff and the wellness of our young people. So while we've got work and everything like that available online, and we've got conferencing that's happening online, so basically running our classes at a distance through Google Meets, through a Google platform, we're still really adamant, we're still really strongly saying, everyone's got a different context, different sets of challenges in their ware, and we have to be mindful and respectful of that. And we have to remember that actually, even when we are going in through Google Meets, we're manuiri in their households, and we have to be really respectful and mindful of that too. So the key messaging that we're giving is, you take it, here's the spectrum, you land yourself where you need to. Right now, your priority might just be your whānau and yourself and kei te pai. You know what? We'll do what we've got to do to support that. For some others, they might be really anxious about finishing a particular piece of work around NCA. They're set up, that's there, we've got the support levels in there for them too. So we're really trying to take it from currently from a wellness angle, from it's a different set of needs for every young person, and how do we get around that really quickly. But we also do have that long-term response in place if it's going to go beyond 3 days. Right. And so we've only shared that with staff at the moment, because we don't want to panic anybody, or our community, our kids out there. We want them to know for the next 3 days we're covered. But if we have to kick an action into plan that's going to extend beyond the 3 days, or looking to be, long-term in any shape or form, here's what it's going to look like. And like I said, we've been there, done that. We've learnt some lessons, and we've kind of got it ready to kick out. And it has to be across the board. So from KaiPaks to making sure we've got a really strong student support network, for our kids that are feeling anxious or might be in some really tough circumstances. You know, we've got a number of our wānau that are living in hotels, even, you know, with their siblings and their parents, and you know, it's really, you can't underestimate how complex it is and how challenging it is for some of our wānau. So that definitely has to be, like I said, we've got all angles covered, no matter where they are on the spectrum or where it's fitting for them. It's our job to sit around that and make it work.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. And it kind of reminds me of last time I spoke with you during the lockdown, that you said that, you know, at the end of the day, it's around the students' well-being and, you know, how they are feeling, even if it is a bit of a stressful time, because it is, we don't really know what's happening, do we?
No, absolutely. And I think one of the core things, the only thing that we're focusing on this week is our teachers. They've all got a group of students that is kind of like their wānau, like the mums or dads, aunties or uncles of the group, is connecting with them and seeing what their needs are at, and having a conversation, and just making sure that they can support that best way that they can. And I always say, you know, learning's lifelong. You know, it's not like you're going to miss out on 3 weeks of and I know, and I don't mean to trivialize the stress that our young people are under, because it's huge and it's complex. But what I do always want to make sure that they keep at the forefront of their thinking is learning's lifelong. If we missed out on a chunk of learning for a period of time, whatever that's like, that's okay. That's okay. You know, you're not going to suddenly fall off the learning wagon, or your brain's going to stop growing, and we'll find solutions. It's lifelong. You know,
that's right.
You're going to be okay.
Oh, yay! That's so good. And is that the kind of advice you want to send to students at this time, like all students that may be listening, not just the students that attend Spotswood College?
Yeah. I think you know, we've got some really good messages that are coming from our leaders across the country. You know, for our iwi leaders, through our kaumātua, through our other you know, other people that are key drivers in our communities, and they've got some really similar themes, and that is that, you know, be kind, be safe, wear your mask if you go outside, look after yourself, look after your wānau, look after each other. But I think you're right, if I had to put that little educational slant on it too, and that's just in the bigger context of things, you know, just remember, learning is lifelong. You might be missing on a little bit of chunk of time, but you will be okay. We've got this. We'll be okay.
Yeah, I love that. Learning is lifelong. That's an awesome motto. Thank you so much, Nicola, for joining me today. You know, wishing you guys all the best during this lockdown. And thank you so much for your time.
You're more than welcome. Stay well.